Welcome to Eerie Shadows, the chilling haven where nightmares become reality. Step into the realm where darkness prevails and terror lurks at every corner. Brace yourself for a bone-chilling journey through the realms of the unknown as we unearth spine-tingling tales and chilling tapes that will send shivers down your spine. But before we delve into this terrifying realm, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any single bone-chilling episode of horror, suspense, and the unknown. But remember, once you enter the world of Eerie Shadows, there's no coming back. So, let's get started. It was Christmas Eve, and the small town was adorned with twinkling lights and festive decorations. The Anderson family, consisting of Mark, Sarah, and their two young children, Emily and Jake, were eagerly preparing for the joyous occasion. Little did they know that their holiday celebration was about to take a dark and unsettling turn. The Andersons lived in a quiet neighborhood where everyone knew each other. That night, a fierce snowstorm had blanketed the streets, making it seem like a winter wonderland. The family gathered around the fireplace, sipping hot cocoa and sharing stories as they waited for the clock to strike midnight. Suddenly, there was a soft knock at the door. Surprised, but thinking it might be a neighbor, Mark opened the door to find a woman standing in the snow-covered porch. She was dressed in tattered clothing, her face hidden beneath a hood. "Hello, dear. I hope I'm not intruding," she said with an unsettling smile. Mark, trying to be hospitable on Christmas Eve, invited her in from the cold. The mysterious woman introduced herself as Eliza and claimed to be a wanderer seeking shelter from the storm. The Andersons, hesitant but compassionate, offered her a seat by the fire. As Eliza warmed herself, the atmosphere in the room shifted. The flickering flames cast eerie shadows on the walls, and the once comforting ambience now felt tense. Eliza began humming an unsettling tune that sent shivers down the family's spines. Attempting to maintain a festive spirit, Sarah suggested singing Christmas carols. Eliza agreed, and they all joined in. But as the family sang, Eliza's voice took on an otherworldly quality, sending a chill through the room. The clock struck midnight, signaling the arrival of Christmas Day. The moment was supposed to be filled with joy, but a sudden realization gripped the family. Eliza's reflection was absent in the decorative mirrors around the room. Fear settled in as they noticed her humming had turned into an eerie chant. Sensing danger, Mark attempted to escort Eliza out, but she resisted, her eyes glowing an unnatural shade. The once welcoming home now felt like a trap. In a sudden burst of movement, Eliza knocked over the Christmas tree, extinguishing the lights. Panic set in as the family fumbled to find the flashlight, and when the beam cut through the darkness, Eliza had vanished. The Andersons, shaken and terrified, searched the house and found no trace of the mysterious woman. The snowstorm outside had intensified, erasing any footprints she might have left. Christmas morning came, but the joyful spirit had been replaced with an unsettling feeling. The Andersons never saw Eliza again, but the memory of that chilling Christmas Eve lingered, forever casting a shadow over their festive celebrations. In 2019, during my second year of college, I lived in a townhome not far from campus with two other girls. It was Christmas Eve, and my roommates had gone home for the holidays, leaving me alone in the house. The events that unfolded that night would forever be etched in my memory. Working in healthcare, I had a shift on Christmas Day, so I was getting ready for bed, trying to get as much rest as possible before my long day ahead. A bit of backstory: there used to be 4 of us in the townhome, but one roommate had to move out due to issues with her abusive boyfriend. Despite our efforts to help her, she left on bad terms, and tensions were high. Now, it was just me alone in the house for the holidays. As I settled into bed after mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, I heard an odd sound coming from the kitchen above my room. It was a distinct noise, like a chair being moved. Initially, I brushed it off, assuming it was just the neighbors making some late-night adjustments. But then, to my horror, my bedroom door slowly creaked open. Suddenly, I remembered the advice I had received from my second-grade teacher about pretending to be asleep during a break-in. I knew I had to act quickly and stay calm. However, the glow from my phone screen illuminated my terrified face, ruining any chance of fooling the intruder. My heart pounded in my chest as I could vaguely make out a man standing in my doorway, wearing a backward baseball cap. Time seemed to stand still as we locked eyes, each of us frozen in the moment. The silence was deafening, and fear coursed through my veins. Eventually, the intruder withdrew and closed the door, leaving me in a state of shock and disbelief. I hesitated, unsure of what to do next. I was reluctant to call the police immediately, worried that he might still be inside the house. Instead, I reached out to the guy I was seeing at the time, desperately seeking guidance and reassurance. He urged me to call 911 without wasting any more time. Within minutes, the sound of sirens filled the air as the police arrived at the scene. They asked if I felt comfortable unlocking the front door for them, but fear gripped me, and I refused. Concerned for my safety, they had no choice but to break in. I watched in a mix of anxiety and relief as they searched the entire house, room by room. To my immense relief, they found no one, and nothing seemed to be stolen. However, there was an unsettling discovery: the back door was unlocked, despite showing no signs of forced entry. That night, sleep eluded me. I couldn't shake off the feeling of vulnerability and fear that had enveloped me. I barricaded the doors and checked every inch of the house repeatedly, desperately trying to regain a sense of security. I immediately informed the landlord about the incident, hoping for some assistance or a change in locks, but to my dismay, my concerns were met with indifference. The landlord refused to take any action, leaving me to face my fears alone. Convinced that the intruder was somehow connected to my former roommate's abusive boyfriend, I took matters into my own hands. I became hypervigilant, triple-checking the doors at bedtime and investing in additional security measures. I adopted a dog, a loyal companion who provided both comfort and protection. I also installed a Ring doorbell, hoping that the added surveillance would deter any potential intruders. Years have passed since that chilling Christmas Eve, but the mystery of the intruder still lingers in my mind. I often find myself wondering about his intentions and the reasons behind his presence in my home that night. Perhaps I will never know the truth, but I have become more resilient as a result of the experience. I have learned to trust my instincts, prioritize my safety, and take proactive steps to protect myself and my home. The incident serves as a constant reminder to remain vigilant and to cherish the security and peace of mind we often take for granted. "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring except for Sarah. Alone in her ancestral home, she felt an eerie silence that echoed through the halls. The family's Christmas traditions had ceased since the passing of her grandparents, leaving the once vibrant house shrouded in a ghostly quiet. On this particular night, Sarah decided to revive the forgotten tradition of playing Christmas carols on her late grandmother's piano. The room was filled with nostalgia as she gently pressed the keys, the haunting melody of Silent Night resonating through the house. As Sarah played, an otherworldly presence seemed to embrace the music. Unbeknownst to her, the ghostly figures of her grandparents appeared in the shadows, drawn by the familiar tunes. Their translucent forms swayed to the melody, creating an ethereal dance in the dimly lit room. Amidst the spectral celebration, the atmosphere took a chilling turn. The temperature dropped, and Sarah felt a cold breath on her neck. Fear gripped her heart as she hesitated to turn around. When she finally mustered the courage to look, her eyes widened in terror. The ghostly apparitions, once comforting and familiar, now wore twisted, contorted expressions. The joyous celebration had morphed into a macabre dance, and the haunting melody grew darker, twisting the once beloved carol into a sinister tune. "Sarah," whispered the ghostly voices, their words now distorted and unnerving. "You've awakened us from our eternal slumber, and now you shall join us." A cold shiver ran down Sarah's spine as the room darkened further. The once warm presence of her grandparents turned malevolent, and the twisted melodies seemed to seep into her very soul. Panicking, she rushed to the piano to stop the music, but the keys continued to play on their own, as if possessed by some supernatural force. The ghostly figures advanced, their twisted faces inches away from hers. The temperature plummeted, and Sarah struggled to breathe. In a desperate attempt, she cried out for help, but her voice was drowned by the haunting chorus of the supernatural carol. Suddenly, as the crescendo reached its peak, everything stopped. The room fell silent, and the ghostly figures retreated into the shadows. The temperature slowly returned to normal, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted, leaving Sarah bewildered and shaken. Terrified and confused, Sarah found herself alone in the dimly lit room. The once majestic piano now stood as a silent witness to the spectral encounter. As she stumbled backward, she noticed a message etched into the piano keys, seemingly appearing out of thin air. "Traditions forgotten can awaken the spirits within. Beware the melodies of the past, for they may hold secrets darker than you can fathom." Haunted by the ghostly encounter, Sarah left the ancestral home, vowing never to return. The twisted Christmas melody continued to echo through the house, a warning to those who dared to rekindle forgotten traditions. And so, the spirits of Christmas past lingered, trapped in a haunting melody that echoed through the halls for eternity, a chilling reminder of the power of forgotten traditions and the mysteries they may hold.